Hey everyone, how are you? In this video, we are going to solve the Leetcode problem of the day, and the problem is triangle. In this problem, we are given an input, a triangle, which is a two-dimensional array. We need to find the output as the minimum path sum from top of the triangle to the bottom. For example, your triangle or the input may look something like this. It is a two-dimensional array, right? And every element in the array is having multiple items. So we have a two-dimensional array as an input, and what you will notice here is the size of the input in your two-dimensional array keeps increasing. The first data is having one element, the second data has two elements, the third data will have three elements, the fourth data will have four elements. If the size would have been bigger, the fifth data will have five elements, the sixth data will have six elements. So this looks like a triangle, right? Now the problem says that we are at the first element of the triangle and we have to reach to the last row, or you can say we are in the first row at the first element. We need to reach to the last row. That is what we need to find the output. We have to go from top to bottom. We are at this particular point, we need to go to the last row, and going from the top to the bottom we need to find the path sum, and that should be minimum. Now there is a rule that initially we are standing at this particular point, so when we are at this point the sum of the path will have 2. We have 2 here. Now we can go to the next row, but when we go to the next row we need to know which element we need to go in the next row. There is a rule that if you are at index number 0 in this row, then in the next row you can go to the index number 0 or index number 1. That is the same index in the next row or the index plus 1 in the next row. So from 2 I can go to 3 or 4. From 3 I can go to 6 or 5, and from 4 I can go to 5 and 7. From 6 I can go to 4 and 1. If I am at 5 I can go to 1 and 8. If I am at 7 I can go to 8 and 3. Basically I can go to the same index in the next row or the next index in the next row. If I am at 7 I cannot go to 1. 7 is at index number 2, this row. So in the next row I can go to the index number 2 or index number 3. I cannot go to index number 1, index number 0. Now following all these rules, we need to find the path from the top to the bottom row which has the minimum sum going from top to bottom. So in this case our answer is going to be, we will first be at 2, then we will go at 3. So 2 plus 3, that is our current sum of the path. From 3 I can go to 6, I can go to 5. We are going to go to 5. So plus 5. And from 5 I can go to 1, I can go to 8, plus 1. We will actually go to 1 and not 8. So our path sum from going from top to bottom, because we have reached to the bottom row, is 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 1, which is equal to 11. So in this case the output is going to be 11. Now that's all about the problem, but what is the approach to solve it? Now before you try to solve it, try to identify the pattern. I see a pattern here, and that pattern tells me that we have to use a particular algorithm, which is a very famous algorithm, to solve problems like this. But I want you to identify the pattern. Let me give you a hint. Try to think about what we need to do and what we have. We have to go from the row number 1 to the last row, right? Now from 2 I can go to 3, I can go to 4. But try to think about this. If I go from 2, 3, now my path will have 6 or 5, right? If I go from 2, I go to 3. So now I do not have 7 as an option. If I follow this path of going from 2 to 3, next I can go to either 6 or 5. I cannot go to 7. So you might say that the value is 7, right? It is a higher value. We don't really want to go there. I get it. You think that 7 is a higher value and we don't want to go there, which is correct. But what if this was not 7, but what if this was, let us say, minus 7? The problem says that the input can be negative as well. What if this was minus 7? Now you want to go here, right? Now you want to follow a path to go at this particular point, to flow from this particular point, right? So now from going to from 2, you may say that okay, 3 seems to be a better option in the next row, but no, let's go from 2 to 4 so that I can go and follow this particular path. This is going to reduce the sum of my path, right? So from 2 I can go to 4, and now I have option of going to 5 or minus 7. I do not have the option of 6, right? But I have the option of going to minus 7, and I can follow this path, 2, then 4, then minus 7, and then from minus 7 I can go to either 8 or 3, right? Maybe I can go to 3, and my path sum is going to be 2 plus 4 plus 3, that is 9, minus 7, that is 2. So now my path sum is 2, right? So what I get from here is, maybe the next solution, the next options, 3 seems to be better, but that is not required to be the global solution. That is, if I am at a particular point and I have two options, in these two options 3 seems to be a better option in the next row, but it is not important, it is not guaranteed that this particular path from 2 to 3 is going to give me the global solution, which is fine, which is minimum. So definitely this is not a greedy problem, right? We cannot solve it using greedy algorithm. We actually need to use dynamic programming, right? Because we need to follow all the different possible path. We will go from 2, we will go to 3, and we will go to 4. We will try all the different path. Then from 3 and 4 we will try to go to 6 and 5, and from 4 we will try to go to 5 and minus 7. And then from 6 we will go to 4 and 1, from 5 we will go to 1 and 8, from minus 7 we will go to 8 and 3. We will try all the different paths, and throughout all the different paths we will see what's the path which is giving us the minimum sum, and definitely this requires us to solve it using dynamic programming. Because let us say we want to go from 2 to 3, then we go to 5, then we go to 1. This is the path, right? But to reach to 1 we will also have one more path, which is go to 2, then go to 4, then go to 5, and then go to 1, right? So to reach to a particular point you have two different paths, or there can be multiple paths. So we need to remember the solutions, we need to remember the path sum. Before we reach to 1, we need to know what are the different paths from where I can reach to this 1. I can reach to this 1 from 5 and from 6, right? So what's the optimal path reaching to this 1? Because we want to store the minimum value, right? We want to know the minimum path reaching to any point. And then we can say what's the minimum path sum in the last row for any point. That can be our answer, right? So we are going to solve this using two different approaches, the top down approach and the bottom up approach. In the top down approach, what we are going to do is we are going to say we will keep moving down. We actually need to go from the top to the bottom, right? We will keep moving down, we will get the answer from the top and we will move down. That's called top down. For these two numbers, get the answer from the top and then we move down. For these three numbers, get the answer from the top, then move down. That's called the top down approach. Now what we are trying to achieve here is, when we are at this point, this is the optimal number, 2 is the optimal minimum path sum to reach to 2, right? You cannot have a value less than 2, right? Try to understand it from the perspective of row by row. When we are at first row, don't worry about the other rows. In the first row we just have one element. What's the minimum path sum you can follow to reach to this element? It is 2 itself, right? Now what about 3 and what about 4? If you want to reach to 3, forget about everything, just focus on if you want to reach to 3, how can you reach to 3? You have to come from 2, right? So if you come from 2, that's the only path, right? That's the only path. You cannot have any other path to reach to the 3. So to reach to the 3, I need to have a sum of 2 plus 3, which is 5. The minimum sum will be 5. So let's replace this with 5. What about 4? If you want to go to 4, you have to come from the 2. So the path will be having a sum of 2 plus 4, which is 6, right? So this will be 6. Now let's try to process the next row. In the next row, you have 3 elements. You have 6, you have 5, you have 7. We will do the same process. In this row, our aim is to go down, right? We are following the top down approach, but we will create the answer from the top. We will get the answer from the top, update these values and then move down. So to reach to the 6, what are the different paths you have? If you want to come to the 6, you have just one path. You will come from this 5. Now if you want to calculate what's the path sum to reach to 6, this will be 6 plus 5, right? Because we have already have this updated value. In these row, in these elements, the values are updated. The values are updated with the previous values. So you now don't need to go back, then go back. You just need to look above and see what the path you have. To reach to the 6, you have just one path. You need to come to from this 5. The sum will be 6 plus 5, which is equal to 11. That's the minimum path sum to reach to this element. Right now we are just working element by element. What about the 5? And here is the interesting thing. To reach to the 5, you have two paths. Now you do not have just one path. If you want to come to the 5, you can come from this particular element, or if you want to come from to 5, you can come from this particular element. You have two paths. The first path and this is the second path. Now it is your choice where do you want to come from. If I want to come to 5, I can come from 5, I can come from 6. Obviously, I will choose the minimum value. This is at index number 1. I can come from index number 1 of the above row or the index number 0 of the above row, right? Because try to think in the opposite side. If I am at index number 0, I can go to index number 0 and index number 1. If I am at index number 1, I can go to index number 1 and index number 2. So reaching to this element, we have two options. From index number 0 of the previous row and index number 1 of the previous row. We will see what's the minimum value. The minimum value is 5. We are going to say, okay, I will come to this element through this. So now I can say this 5 will be replaced with 10 because it has a value of 5 and I am coming from a value of 5. So 5 plus 5, which is 10. The path sum to come to this element is 10. What about this element? There is just one option to reach to this element, which is this particular 6. If you want to reach to the index number 2, I need to come from the index number 1. From index number 1 of the previous row, it can go to the index number 1 and index number 2, right? This is the index number 2 of the next row. So to reach to the 7, I can come from 6 only. So the sum here will be 13. Now the thing to notice here is, for the first and the last element of your row, you just have one option. For the first element, you have just one option as the first element in the previous row. For the last element, you have just one option as the last element in the previous row. But for the middle elements, like 10, or in the next row like 1 and 8, you will have two options. Let us see in the next row also. If it is the first element, which is 4, you just have one option to come to this element. You don't have any other option, right? So I have just one option, so I will take that option and I will say is 11 plus 4, which is 15. Path sum to reach to this particular point is 15, but these are the middle elements. If I want to come to this element, which is at index number 1, I will either come from 11 or I will come from 10. Because 11 is at index number 0, 10 is at index number 1. From index 0, I can come to index 0 or index 1. From index 1, I can come to index 1 or index 2, right? So I am having multiple options, right? So to reach to the 1, I can come from 11 or 10. Obviously, I want to come from the minimum path, so this will be 10. 10 plus 1 is 11, right? Now this is 11. What about the next element 8? I can come from 10 or 13. I will come from 10, which is having a minimum value. So this will be 10 plus 8, which is 18. And this is the last element. It has just one option coming from the last element of the previous row. 13 plus 3, which is 16. Now I have calculated the values for each of the element. And my final goal is to reach to the last element, right? If I want to reach to the last element, or I would say the last row, then I have 4 options. Obviously, I will choose the minimum option and I will say my answer is 11, right? That's what we had in particular given input. Now, let us say we change the value of the input from 7 to minus 7, right? So if this would have been minus 7 instead of 7, so let's actually update its value. This is minus 7, right? Now, I want to find out how to reach to this particular element in the optimal way. I have just one option, following the path of 2, 6 to minus 7. So minus 7 plus 6, which will be equal to minus 1. That's the path sum to reach to this particular element. So this will be minus 1. And now, if the last element is 3, right? This element will not be 16 now. This will be 3 plus this particular element, which is minus 1. 3 plus minus 1, this will be equal to 2. Now I can say this is equal to 2. The last row, the minimum element is 2, right? So now 11 is not the answer, 2 is the answer. And we have already calculated the answer in this particular input as 2, right? When we change the input from 7 to minus 7. Basically, 2 plus 6 plus 3 and minus 7. That's the path we are going to follow. And the answer will be 2. The sum will be 2. In the bottom up approach, what we are going to do is, we are going to update these rows. The last second row, the last third row, and the first row. The first row, the second row, the third row. But not the last row. What we are assuming here is, we are saying that we will go from bottom to up. We will keep going up and we will get the answer from the bottom. That is, for these elements, we will get the answer from the bottom and then we will go up. Bottom up approach. If we are at 6, right? So from 6, I can go to either 4 or 1, right? That these are the two options. If I want to reach to the next row, which is my final row where I want to reach, so let me process the second last row. If I am at 6, I can either go to 4 or I can go to 1. Now where do I want to go? That's the question. I want to go to a minimum path. So from 6, I will go to 1. So we will say 6 will be updated to 7. 6 plus 1, which is 7. That is, if I follow this particular path, from this element, I go to this element, I have a sum of 7 as of now. We are going to process above as well, but as of now. Then from 5, I can go to 1, I can go to 8. I will definitely go to 1, right? Instead of going to 8. So here I will say it is 5 plus 1, which is 6. And if I want to go from 7, I can go to 8, I can go to 3. You will see, we will go from 7 to 3, and here we can say it is 10. So now what we have is, we have 3 values which are telling me that if I am at this particular element and I want to reach to the next element, the next row, 7 is the minimum path value you will have to follow. If I am at this particular element, 6 is the path value and 10 is the path value for this element. Now let us process this particular row. If I want to go from 3 to the next row, I will either go to 7 or go to 6. I will follow the least path. I will go from 3 to 6. So this will be 9. Also, if I want to go from 4, I can go to 6, I can go to 10. I will go to 6 and I will say sum is 6 plus 4 is 10. And now let us process this one. If I want to go from 2, I will go to either 9 or 10. I will go to 9 and I will say at this particular point the sum is 11 and this is our final answer. So we are just building the answer in the above direction, upward direction, by simulating that if from these 2 points, this is the minimum one, let's contribute this. From these 2 points, 1 is the minimum, let's contribute 1 here. From these 2 points, 3 is the minimum, let's contribute 3 here. Similarly, from these 2 points, 6 is the minimum, let's contribute 6 here. From these 2 points, 6 is the minimum, let's contribute 6 here. And from these 2 points, 9 is the minimum, let's contribute 9 here. So in this case, what we are doing is we are actually running an entire opposite loop in our triangle. But we are processing the last second row of our triangle and not the last row. And then we are running the loop in our triangle, the current row of our triangle. That is, we are processing 6, 5, 7, then 3, 4, and then 2. And then for each of these rows, 6, 5, 7, we are running a loop for j in the range of length of triangle of I. We are updating the value in that particular row at index number I comma j. That will be equal to triangle of I comma j plus the minimum value of triangle of I plus 1 comma j and I plus 1 comma j plus 1. That is, for 6, which is at index number 0, here the value will be 6 plus either 4 or 1, which is at index number I plus 1 of j or I plus 1 of j plus 1. And finally, we are returning the value which is at the top of our triangle, which is triangle of 0 comma 0, and that is the bottom up approach. When you will submit this, you will see that it is passing all the test cases, and you can see the runtime is really good, the memory used is really good. So we have solved this problem in a very efficient way, guys. So I hope that this video has explained you about dynamic programming, why do we need dynamic programming in this particular approach or in this particular problem, and both the top down and bottom up approach. And if it did, then make sure that you hit that like button. And if you are not subscribed to my channel as of now, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. I want to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this one.